Biggest, most general question ever, but what brought you to Biofit? Like, what, can you give me a synopsis of your journey up until that point? From birth, please. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
You're fine.
from birth.
But no, you're fine.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, so pretty much, I guess for myself, I just in high school, I started getting into fitness. I played sports and I just liked
Nice.
nutrition and just got into the gym and working out. Yep. And then when I went to college, I worked just like the front desk at a gym and I
Awesome.
actually got into like bodybuilding. So I did the bikini competitions and
Oh, awesome.
it's
Okay.
very into the looks and very into that. And then, I kind of ended up down a road of some self-worth issues and some gut issues and dealing with a lot of, I placed and I did really well in my shows and I wasn't happy. And I was like,
Mm.
I thought that this was going to bring me all my hopes and dreams
Yeah,
and wishes. And
all the
so,
good feelings. Yeah.
uh, exactly. And unfortunately, I was not feeling good, not happy with my body, overtraining, undernourishing, and I found yoga. And then I just found kind of holistic health and spirituality, and that led me into looking at the person and then the body and myself as more of a whole versus just that physical aspect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been working at Orange Theory, and I kind of did my own personal training, and um, I just did my own research, and then I met John, and
Good for you.
when we
Awesome.
both sat down and talked just about the whole it's a whole being approach and how he doesn't want people to be working out 5 days a week and how he wants
Yeah.
people to focus on what they do outside of here and just this whole community. I was like, yes, I'm in. Like this resonates with what I'm trying to also bring to my clients as well. And so that brought me to Biofit.
So are you doubling up? Are you doing Biofit stuff and your own personal training business?
Um, no, nope.
Okay.
So I pretty much have brought all of my clients to Biofit.
Oh,
The
sure.
only
They
other thing I'm
appreciated
doing
that.
is teaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'm doing is teaching some yoga.
Nice.
I really enjoy teaching yoga and I still would like to offer that. So yeah.
That's awesome. As far as what they do there, is that part of your workout routine too? Actually, no. I mean, I saw you there.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, it totally is. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
I come from, a background of exercise science. I have
Yeah.
both my undergrad and my master's in it. And I love the science and I think the research there and, having that graph and being able to compete with yourself and reaching muscle failure is pretty much the goal of a
Mhm.
workout. So being able to do that in under 10 minutes and feeling that in your body,
It's amazing.
it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, yes, it's in my workout routine.
What do you think about when you compete? And I've talked to so many people who have told me they experience the same feeling. Like what you said, they kind of go into this real, I guess, almost depressive state of mind after they do a competition. How did you bring yourself out of that? You said you kind of went down a path you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
So you had to pull yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After my kind of final competition and my last competition, I was really blessed and I had a good coach and he, did it in a healthy way. But
Nice.
I really started to resent the gym and working out and tracking my food. And I was just, I felt like I was on this cycle of having to work so hard and then having this terrible relationship with food and not being able to enjoy other aspects of life because I was so focused on my physique.
This
And
thing.
I think, yeah, I was so
Yeah.
focused on this thing. And so I think finally, literally, I remember sitting in my car, like on the phone with my coach, and I was just like, I'm done. Like I don't really know what
Interesting.
I'm gonna do next, but I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like my body can't, my mental, my emotional, my physical body, everything is just to a point where it's like my body was telling me all the signs, and I was trying to be like, no, I'm
No,
fine.
no,
But
yeah. There's no
my
pain, no
hormones, you
gain.
don't need, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was it. And I started just getting really into yoga and I
Yeah.
just really into more like trying to, the whole intuitive eating approach. And
Yeah.
it's been kind of from there, just this journey of exploring all that.
How do you integrate yoga into strength training? Like, do you kind of do you do strength training one day or biofit one day and then yoga? So you kind of like intersperse them?
Yeah, and I would say I almost do the yoga. A lot of yoga that I do actually is very more like restorative and a lot more breath work and a lot
Okay.
more like relaxing. So I would say for myself, I actually use yoga more. I know it's been very westernized, which is great, and people do it for like the hard workouts. But
Hmm.
for myself personally, I like to do it more like in the evenings, just to wind down and get myself kind of in more of
See, I'd be about that. I do
a
that too.
really a really nice um state to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's how I use it.
People probably do it in the other form. They probably do it as expecting this workout. They want to get like, I don't know, maybe they do Bikram or something like that, where it's hot
Yeah,
yoga. And I
yeah,
like hearing somebody who, like yourself, you use it almost in a way that you feel like it needs to be used for. Like yoga seems like the thing that you could use for recovery, calming, getting ready to be in a more peaceful state of mind as opposed to piling on more stress.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I like to, because when yoga was actually invented, they
Mhm.
actually meditation came first, and then
Okay.
they only brought yoga on, called the asanas, the postures. They only
Oh,
brought yoga
interesting.
on so that you could release energy from the body and sit in meditation longer. So
Oh,
yoga really was just meant to be used to get a little bit of kind of movement in, but then to really be able to settle and be able to, so you could sit in your meditation practice longer.
I had no idea. So it
Yeah,
so
I didn't either.
wow. Okay, so the basis of yoga started in that meditative form is what you said. I'm just
Yeah, so
reiterating
it's,
what you said.
yep.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
So yeah, if you go back to the very beginning of yoga, the asana, which is the physical practice, didn't
Okay.
come till a couple, I want to say like over 100 years after they do in meditation. They were like, hey, we need to be able to sit longer. So how about we do some of these postures to release some stored energy and align the chakras, and then we'll sit in meditation. And
Now,
then
do
when it got moved, when it came over um into the States, like into our Western world, they kind of lost the whole meditation and just went straight to
interesting.
asana, straight to the physical postures.
Well, I was going to ask you that too, because naturally, with all the other forms of yoga, I was thinking they would have maintained that foundation, but like I mean, you just said it. As they migrated to Western culture, they kind of lost touch with that form, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Yeah.
foundation. Well, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. I think I imagine yoga can be for everybody, right? Like
Yes.
anybody can take yoga in some form and apply it to
Mhm.
their current programming, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
What?
because yoga really, and I like to emphasize this, yoga
Yeah.
really is a way of life. If you take
Uh-huh.
any trainings or anything, they talk about yoga being a way of life. And what you focus on in yoga mostly, or what you should be focusing on, is your breath. And
Okay.
so when you can get in a uncomfortable posture or like an uncomfortable stretch, and you can breathe into it, and you can slow your breath, and you can sustain it longer, you can take that breath work off of your mat and into the world. And when you're in traffic or you're in a stressful situation, you can then find that breath that you use in your yoga practice
I
to
love
get through
that.
those uncomfortable situations. So that's like what I think really helped me when I first found yoga, was learning how to actually breathe again, because so many
Okay.
people are just breathing in their chest, and we need to be breathing into our belly, and being able
Oh,
to we can slow down our nervous system, central nervous system. Everyone's
okay.
in sympathetic. We want to get in parasympathetic, and we can do that with our breath.
So what's a simple breath exercise people could do if they're
So
not doing yoga?
yeah, I it's just a even inhale and exhale. So I like to tell people
Okay.
to put their hands on their belly, breathe in through the nose for 5 and out through the nose for 5.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
that's just going to help to really calm down the breath and tell the body, hey, it's okay to rest, and it's okay to breathe deeply. So that can be really nice to do, especially like in the evening, or maybe before an interview, or like a conversation that might stress you out, and you will feel like the benefits immediately in your body. If I will do just a breath work session with people, and we'll just do the breath work, and after they'll be like, wow, I just feel really like grounded and really calm. And I'm like, yeah, because
Love that.
you're breathing right,
You
you're
you're
breathing into your
breathing.
belly, you're breathing, you're not in
Yeah.
this chest, for like breathing really fast up here.
And it's interesting to note too, even though it's super simple and we take it for granted, the idea of breathing, it's not something that is necessarily talked about as much as it maybe should in fitness in general. Cause you hear it from like Wim Hof, you get like some guys who really kind of push the
Yeah.
idea of breathing, but it's never talked about. Everybody goes to the extremes, and you probably think that dialing it back and going to those simple components is maybe
Yeah.
what people are missing. Anybody is missing in fitness.
And even at Biofit, I feel like the biggest thing I'm telling people is breathe, 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 exhale, because breath is actually a way that our body releases toxins. So when you're full exhaling, you are releasing toxins in your lungs out
Oh, that's
into the air.
CO2. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like if you're not fully exhaling, like some of that can get sometimes trapped in the bottom of your lungs, and then those toxins are just in your body. So like
That's true.
breathing and exhaling it out is just like so important.
And I like that you said that, because everybody talks, flushing out toxins is a big thing. And I imagine people do juice diets, or they do all the diets to like, to stimulate flushing. And no, you were the only person who has said that about breathing. And it's funny because I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. Like you
don't think about it. You think,
don't think about it.
I go number 2 and I pee, and that's how I release toxins and that. But like people forget, like breathing and sweating also, like those are like your skin and your breath are the biggest ways to help to release toxins in your body. So like
Yeah.
if you're not fully exhaling, there's especially in a time like now, like your lungs need to be the strongest that they can be. So I'm like, practice breath work, practice it, and like
just keep practicing.
Keep practicing, keep breathing, because even if you think that you're deep belly breathing, you're probably not.
It's probably a good thing for people to do when they're not working out, because I imagine, maybe, you probably deal with clients who lose motivation, or they don't know what to do when you're not working with them. So I guess that's what you're saying. You teach them how to control their breath as a way to maybe continue working on their own personal fitness, as opposed to thinking they have to go hit another heavy ass workout when you're not there.
I will assign breath work as like a homework assignment to people.
That's cool.
Because I'm like, everyone, even for myself, who has done this for so long, like I still have to put in my day like 5 to 10 minutes of my breathwork practice, so that I can just make sure that I'm staying with it, and that I'm,
you're
staying
continuing
on top of it, continuing to.
You're the only trainer I've talked to who has done that for clients. I've never talked to a single one. So, and to your credit, I mean, that distinguishes you from the crowd. So there you go. But no, I really haven't. Nobody has assigned their clients breath work. Generally there's check-ins, there's all the usual stuff that happen, but no consideration with breath work. And
it's crazy to me, because it's not this like, it's not like this woo-woo thing that's like just like there is research that shows the benefits of these
that breathing is good.
And I'm like,
what?
I took like a certification to teach breathwork and meditation, and like I'm reading these statistics and I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm like, why are people not doing this?
Why is this not happening?
I'm like, it makes no sense to me. So
no, it's a good point. And it's also too, you've heard of this probably. It's vacuuming, vacuums like with the abs and everything. And so breathing can even, build muscle. Like it can feasibly build a six-pack that you're looking for if your diet's dialed in,
it is.
So for the muscle heads out there, you do your freaking,
you can train your
vacuums,
abs.
train your abs, you breathe properly through your diaphragm. That's what works.
There's another one called Breath of Fire, and
explain that to me. I've heard of it. I've heard that term.
So I'll do it because it's kind of, but essentially all you're focusing on the exhale. So you're focusing the exhale out of your nose, and then the inhale comes naturally. So you're sitting here and you're like,
Okay.
It takes, because people want to do this. People want to go. So you can notice that I'm inhaling and exhaling, but all you're doing is exhaling. So you're thinking about pulling your belly button to your spine.
Okay.
Exhale, and then the inhale should come naturally.
Are you meant to do it fast like that, or is it?
Yeah.
Can you
So
like
if
time
you
it
have
the
to
way you
start,
want?
you can time it the way you want, but down the line, you are meant to do it faster. And it's actually an energizing breath, and it's a very detoxifying breath.
It did
Yeah,
feel
but breath is,
energizing. I'll be real with you though. Just like the 5 times I did that. No, because it's like it kind of
it does. So
ramps you
that's
up a
gonna,
little bit.
yeah, versus decreasing, that's gonna, your parasympathetic, that's going to turn on your sympathetic nervous system. So it is more for kind of, it can be, I teach it in very like one-on-one, because it can also
Okay.
like bring out like stored emotions and things of that sort. So it's not something that I'm out here teaching to everyone, but
Yeah. You're gonna have a group of people
it
just like
is.
bawling, crying all of a sudden and be like,
Yeah,
I told
literally.
you guys.
I told you it was gonna happen.
Emotional. Yeah.
I warned you.
Well, it's
Yeah.
better. It is a great option, I think, for maybe if you're lifting heavy, because I know you're meant to, you try to turn on your central nervous system, you try to fire on all cylinders if you're doing a deadlift. And I'm sick and tired of seeing people huffing smelling salts.
Oh
That's
my
just
God.
me. That's just me. I don't know what your thought is, but I just get
I'm
tired
on
of
the same
watching the
page as
videos.
you.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
like
I'm
they crack it open and they go, "Ugh," So
like,
I
yeah,
know, I know.
yeah.
I'm looking at it's like how much does that actually help you? I'm not sure. So no, so to your credit, I like this more natural kind of like
I'm here for the natural endorphins
and
and the
you mentioned you
natural,
mentioned too though, you talked about that, but you also talked about the spiritual side. Do you incorporate the
yeah.
spiritual aspect to everything? Well, you just said
I
yoga, so
do.
there you go. Yeah.
I believe that there is some sort of connection between why everything happens and, a bigger, higher power. And I just believe that um everything connects, and that there is a reason for everything. And I've experienced synchronicities in my own life, and
Yeah.
just done a lot of my own energy healing and
Yeah.
trauma healing, and I've just seen it in real time. And so um yeah.
Well, I've been to, talked to a few people who have kind of approached fitness in a similar way. They're trying to bring in the spiritual side. And for me, it seems like a great way to solve the problem of long-term motivation for people. So as opposed to I imagine for every trainer, that is the ultimate question. Like, how do you maintain a client? How do you keep them on the track, on the path, retention, right? So I imagine applying, like what you said, the spiritual side, everything happens for a reason, takes away some of the stress that comes with not seeing yourself where you want to be during that fitness
Mhm.
journey, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I think that it can be difficult, and no one's fitness journey is this nice
Yeah.
uphill slope. You're going to have your peaks and your valleys, and then, for many people, getting to, some of the root causes of why they're not able to get
Mhm.
their results. And, maybe do they have like limiting beliefs around that, limiting beliefs around themselves, their achievements, um past things like that. Sometimes I've just had conversations about people, and something will come up with their dad when they were younger, who was really hard on them, and then they, just they have this subconscious belief that they can't achieve this without that. Like one of the biggest ones I feel like is, you can't make money unless you hustle and work really hard, and like, money doesn't go on trees, where you see people working 10 hours a week making billions
I
of
know,
dollars.
just
So
as much
so
as somebody
it's
working
not.
40. Yeah.
Exactly. And not to say that hard work doesn't do that, but if you have this belief that money only comes from working hard, you're never going to be able to make a big amount of money, versus if you,
Work smarter.
work smarter. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or,
Yeah.
change your belief around money. Like, money comes to me easily. Like, I can make money, whatever.
It's true.
That I went to a whole nother realm, but I think that same thing is with
Still makes
fitness. Like,
sense though.
if you don't
Yeah.
believe in yourself, like, I'll tell my clients, like, I believe in you. I can give you all the tools, but if you don't believe in yourself that you can lose this weight or lift this weight or reach this goal, like, it's not going to happen, because you have to have that mindset that you can achieve this.
Yeah. And you're helping them control hormonal responses too, instead of just living in this stressed out state and kind of being all counterintuitive with what they're doing in the gym, that,
Hmm.
you're trying to dig deeper and you're trying to give them something to
Yeah.
latch onto mentally.
Yeah. Yep. And a thought turns to emotion, turns into an action. So, I think that what you think is the biggest thing. And if a lot of, especially female clients that come to me, just are constantly thinking they're not enough, and constantly thinking that they need to be skinnier, they need to
Be
do
better.
this. Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and they say, I want to lose 20 pounds. And I say, well, what's losing 20 pounds going to do for you? Instantly make you happy? Probably not. Because I've done it. I've
You've been
competed.
there.
I looked the best that I ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I wasn't happy. So you have to work on your relationship with yourself and your body right now. And along that journey, you can eat healthier and move your body, but you have to do that from a place of compassion versus a place of self-hate, because the self-hatred is not going to change by losing a couple pounds.
Somebody said that, I think I had talked to another competitor, said that too, about the whole coming from self-hate as opposed to coming from compassion.
Yeah, it's big.
And that's beautiful. That applies to anybody, even
Oh
if
yeah,
you haven't done a
anyone.
competition. That's a great way to reframe your mindset and maintain real focus on your goal. So I love that. That is an amazing phrase.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Self-love. I know people are like, oh, that self-love.
I know it's true. It's
but
like, again, another simple thing. Like,
yeah,
of course you're supposed to love yourself. Of course.
yeah, of course. But I
Yeah.
think with self-love, it's not just about, oh, I love myself, blah, 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 but it's about, okay, I'm going to choose. I love
Yeah.
myself, so I'm going to choose to go to the gym versus going home and sitting on the couch and watch TV. I'm going to choose to eat this meal that I prepared because I love my body and I want to feel good and I want to fuel it. So, it comes with it also a thing of self-love and self-discipline if you want to get to where you want to go.
Do you think people respond better to the program when they have very unique environments to work with, like in like physical environments that they find to be very unique? Do you think that helps lend itself to happiness and joy during the process?
I think that energy is like a really big thing. And so if you're surrounded by a lot of negative, I'll always ask people when they come to work with me, if you have a significant other, if you have a family, whoever you live with, do they support you? Whoever you surround yourself with, do they support you? Because this isn't going to be easy and this is going to be hard. If you're going home to someone every night and they're like, hey, let's go to McDonald's and let's do this. Like, yes, you have a choice, but that's also going to be really difficult to come home to every single night. And if you're constantly fighting that, it's going to make it much more difficult. So, who are you surrounding yourself? What's your work environment like? What's your home environment like? Because I think this isn't just a come to the gym and then that's it. This is, like you and I both know, it's lifestyle changes. So that 10-minute workout that we do at Biofit is a very minimal part of what you do the rest of your day.
Yeah. And it's amazing that they can find a way to make 10 minutes work the best for you. I guess I appreciate that approach now, because people will definitely latch onto that. My God, people will latch onto that.
The people who, my mom hates working out. She hates the gym. She'll never win. I'd write her program after program and she'd do it for like 2 weeks and fall off. And I think this is the longest. And she comes back and she's like, I know I'm going to be done in like 10 minutes. So I can come every time. And I'm like, hey, if it keeps you coming.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, mom, it's fine. I didn't give you that for completely free. but yeah, for the folks who are, time constraint or just don't like the gym, but know how important the strength training aspect of it is.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It is. But I find it funny too. You mentioned like surrounding yourself with positive influences. You're the positive influence for your mom, but it doesn't work. So you're like, damn it.
I'm like, we need more positive influences. Yeah.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
No,
I
feel you though. Same shit. I get it. No, it's the same thing. But no, it's it's cool though, just being at that facility and seeing what's out there. I didn't even know it existed. That was a funny thing. I had no idea shit like that was out there. I
Yeah,
imagine, and it's cool because you can't really duplicate that
it's
at the
pretty
gym.
hard.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
you
It's hard.
can't.
You can't really do it because you don't have the same, you
You
gotta
can't
have
put,
more.
yeah, you can't put 400 pounds on a leg press that you can resist, but then
Yeah.
not be able to press it up. You're kind of
Yeah.
screwed. So yeah.
That's true. Well, what do you do? What's your routine consist of usually?
Um, I'm not super strict with it. I'm
Okay.
really into, so I do Biofit probably twice a week. I'll do like a full range and then a static day. I'm really into like walking outside. I think COVID, I can thank for that, but just I saw the
Walking's another
benefits of
great thing.
that. It's like literally so good for you. Like
Yeah,
again, the science behind walking is insane. And then I do obviously yoga,
for sure.
um, and then something called Legree, which is, have you ever heard of plank? Or I don't know if you, so Legree is like,
Legree. No.
so it's on a megaformer. So
Okay.
I tell people it's like Pilates on steroids.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
you're doing like slow range of motion, and they say it's very
Painful.
it's
No.
it's very painful. It is, but it's non impact, but it's
Okay.
high intensity but low impact. So it's
Interesting.
really effective for just I've never had like a stronger core or like stronger supporting muscles. So I'll usually
Love
do
that.
that once or twice a week. Oh, and I love boxing too. I'm big, like to just punch it out.
So you do absolutely everything, is what you're saying.
I'd
You're
like
just
to, I like to, after doing bodybuilding for so many years, and I've
yeah.
tried like CrossFit and just like having all these split days and like spending all this time in the gym, like I just want a thing where like I'm not trying to make my body, I want to be healthy, but I'm don't, I'm not needing to have like this perfect physique. And I just want to move my body in ways that I enjoy.
And it's a great solution, I think, for people who think they need to like stick to a singular type of training,
Yeah.
as they go through. It's the you're varying it up. You've got all this variety, but it's variety that makes sense within the context of your training, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
switching up every single movement every time you go in. No, you've got like,
Yeah.
that you're doing biofit a couple times, you're doing boxing a couple times, yoga here
I
and
know
there.
I'm getting, like an overall balanced workout for my body, but it's also,
Exactly.
you know, for me, it's just really important about keeping, I've done so like sometimes if I go too much and do like too much hit or too high intensity, like
Yeah.
I get some like gut disruption and like I've dealt with hormone issues. So for me, like those are going to be top of my list. So like the walking and just some of the lower impact stuff is really, really good for my journey and where I'm at. Not to say that I like a great hit workout and all that stuff is great, but for where I'm at, this is what is working for me.
That's awesome.